Alright, everybody, so recently, and by recently I mean literally hours ago, iDubbbz just dropped a new video about the drama that happened around the Creator Clash 2 event, with Froggy Fresh getting kicked out of the event just a few weeks before it happened, and a lot of the controversy that came from that. And he was responding to it, right? But before we get to that video, I want to go ahead and read you guys an article. It's a few years old, but I think it is quite relevant at this time. I think it is very relevant. From the Los Angeles Times, neo-Nazi website raises $150,000 to fight Southern Poverty Law Center lawsuit. A neo-Nazi blogger has been promised donations of more than $150,000 for his legal defense after the Southern Poverty Law Center sued him for organizing a troll storm, quote-unquote, against a Jewish woman in Montana. The donations to Andrew Anglin and the website he founded, The Daily Stormer, came in over the course of less than 2 months on a crowdfunding site that caters to far-right causes, overcoming the difficulties that white nationalists and white supremacists often face in raising money online. The mainstream crowdfunding websites GoFundMe and Kickstarter have policies forbidding fundraisers that promote hate speech and violent right-wing terrorism. The donations to support Anglin were made possible by a California-based site called WeSearcher, which has attracted donors hoping to fund rallies for the far right and post bounties for damaging information about liberals, leftists, and moderate Republicans such as Senator John McCain of Arizona. WeSearcher is run by Chuck C. Johnson, a Los Angeles blogger and right-wing provocateur who was banned from Twitter in 2015 after soliciting donations to support taking out, quote-unquote, prominent black activist DeRay McKesson. So, this is all just a bunch of really fucking... McKesson, sorry. Really crazy, far-right Nazi types running this stuff. Johnson's business is set up to profit from people who want to donate to controversial causes. It keeps 15% of every donation, or 3 times the base rate of GoFundMe and Kickstarter. That's more than $22,000 of the money pledged for Anglin. So crazy Nazis making a bunch of money off of people donating to other crazy Nazis is what this is. All are welcome to fundraise on my properties, Johnson said to the Los Angeles Times in an email. Like my mentor, Alan Dershowitz, my position is the same as the ACLU's was in Skokie. Free speech, even for the speech we dislike, he wrote, referring to a 1978 legal case in which the American Civil Liberties Union defended the right of neo-Nazis to march in Skokie, in recent years, there's been an effort to move into a more censoring environment on the internet. Dershowitz, the famous Harvard University law professor, emeritus? I've never heard this word before. What is this word? emeritus. What's this mean, chat? Help me out. I'm Googling it. Okay, so a previous holder of office in a university, okay. Who purportedly once employed Johnson as a researcher, did not immediately respond to a message-seeking comment. Most of the Daily Stormer's donors on WeSearcher are anonymous, with the exception of the comedian Sam Hyde, who pledged $5,000. When contacted for comment, Hyde asked the reporter if he was Jewish, and then boasted that $5,000 was nothing to him. Hyde's TV show on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim programming block was canceled last year, but not before Hyde amassed a following among the loosely knit movement of white nationalists, misogynists, and anti-Semites that has come to be known as the alt-right. I think without a shadow of doubt, Sam Hyde is a Nazi. And because of that, a while ago, iDubbbz, a popular YouTuber who used to be known for his very edgy content, but recently, sort of grew out of that and became a lot more progressive, has decided he doesn't want to associate with Sam Hyde, despite Sam Hyde desperately wanting to associate with iDubbbz. And so at this point, a multi-year-long, attempted harassment campaign has been going where, a shit ton of YouTubers, as well as Sam Hyde, but a shit ton of YouTubers who dick ride Sam Hyde, despite the fact he is very clearly a Nazi, have been attacking iDubbbz, trying to argue that iDubbbz not engaging with Sam Hyde is actually like the cucked cringe thing to do, and that if iDubbbz is a real man, then he would feed the troll, which is Sam Hyde, and like box him or be friends with him, or I don't even know what they want him to do. They're literally just mad that iDubbbz isn't taking the bait from Sam Hyde. That's all it is. And while I don't think most of the people who are Sam Hyde fans or defending Sam Hyde and all of this are actually Nazis, I think the people who are defending Sam Hyde that aren't Nazis are a pretty great example of how people who aren't far-right can end up falling into defending far-right culture war issues, or the far-right on these culture war issues without even realizing it. And so, yeah, let's watch the iDubbbz video. Let's hear his take on all of this, because this really all stems from the fact that iDubbbz just doesn't want to associate with a neo-Nazi. That's literally what the core of all this drama is.
It's like you came back and you were a pawn in some game of 4D chess.
Hey, Harley.
I think you found out that iDubbbz and Anissa don't play games.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. Brief update. I am healed from creator.
Oh, also, basically, okay, I'm going to summarize why people are mad at iDubbbz, okay? Here's why people are mad at iDubbbz. They're mad he won't break up with his wife, and he doesn't say the N-word anymore. That is why they're mad at him. Let's not pretend it is for any other reason than that.
Clash 2. It was a success. Alex Wasabi beat me up. He won his fight fair and square, and I have all the respect for Alex. He's a good competitor. And I have respect for all the other fighters.
Yeah, sorry, iDubbbz. I had to go hard on you there. You know, I trained for months, but I had to go all out. Thanks for giving me the shout-out, though. When he said Alex, I knew he was talking about me.
Creator Clash card. And thank you to all the fans who came. It was an amazing event. I'm very happy. Very happy, very emotional. Awesome experience. I'll never forget it. Having said all that, you guys are here for the juice and the grease. So I'm going to give you guys the grease and the juice. And that all has to do with Froggy Fresh. The reason I didn't address any of this sooner is because I was terrified of jeopardizing the success of the event, because there are a lot more people involved in this than just Anissa and I didn't want to fuck it up for them.
That is true. As much as these drama tubers and whatnot that are super invested on like the Sam Hyde iDubbbz thing may want to pretend like it's otherwise, a lot of the YouTubers who are like competing in the event have like big fan bases and are like their foot is in massive niche communities way outside of like the weird bullshit Sam Hyde is involved in. So the idea that like iDubbbz would be concerned about his personal like getting harassed by some Nazi online might have an effect on this event that a bunch of big popular creators are getting involved with, like he does have a responsibility to make sure like Sam Hyde doesn't do some shit to try to ruin that event, which is what he's been like trying. He like makes jokes and boasts about how he's gonna like show up to the event like with a bunch of like body doubles, and he's gonna like dress in drag so they can't kick him out because he'll accuse them of being transphobic. Like he'll like fantasize on stream about like a million different ways he would try to ruin Creator Clash, and it's like, if you're the person running it and this crazy Nazi dude who has for some reason amassed a massive following of normies and Nazis is like after you and wants to ruin your event, then yeah, you're gonna take some responsibility to try to minimize how much damage could be done to said event, because there's a lot of people involved with it that aren't you.
These are people that I really care about, and I felt like it would be very selfish if I was like, I understand public perception right now, guys. I'm just gonna make a quick 10-minute video and I'll squash all the rumors, I'll squash all the beef. I have no idea what public perception for this video is going to be. That's why I'm doing it now, right? Is
not good. The video has more dislikes than likes. I want to be clear here, by the way. iDubbbz fans are literally mad he won't dump his wife, start saying the N-word again, and become friends with a neo-Nazi. That is what they are mad about. He has gotten ratioed on this video because of it. They'll talk about the Froggy Fresh thing and get mad, like, oh, he was such a dick for kicking Froggy Fresh. Like, okay. Literally, you guys have all been shitting on iDubbbz tangentially to this issue because he won't associate with Sam Hyde. He kicked Froggy Fresh because he's associating with and defending Sam Hyde and appropriating, like, the Sam Hyde talking point shit. So, like, if you're going to attack iDubbbz for kicking out Froggy Fresh, you have to attack or defend the idea that iDubbbz is bad for not wanting to associate with Sam Hyde.
The event is now over with. I can risk it, you know? I can air my grievances, and we can see where it goes. I need to bring you guys up.
Oh yeah, and the reason why he needs to break up with his wife is because she has an OnlyFans where apparently she posts lewds. I don't even know if she posts nudes there. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. I'm pretty certain she like literally posts like the equivalent of lingerie modeling there or something. Like, would you be a cuck for dating a lingerie model? I don't think so, but apparently you are if you aren't a Nazi.
To speed on where I'm at as a person and as a content creator. My philosophy for a while was, well, people will figure it out through the videos I make. But the problem is the videos I make, I mean, I sort of avoid speaking from the heart. I'm just gonna focus on a thing, on a piece of content. I think I have bad associations with sharing my life on the internet. I'm like, no, that shouldn't be my thing. Like, leave that up to the vloggers. But I think it's important to share where I'm at. So none of what I'm talking about in this Froggy Fresh video feels like I'm being hypocritical or, you know, I'm misleading.
Doesn't matter. They'll call him hypocritical.
You in any way. I think a lot of the content I've made has been irresponsible.
I actually saw a really good example of the like warped perception that a lot of these people have on this from Optimus. Optimus tweeted some really stupid shit that I think gives us a really good idea of how these people like perceive this drama. This is a tweet from Optimus from today, okay? In response to this video. iDubbbz. So it's in the format of like a green text for some reason. iDubbbz. Spend years of your life making content centered around edgy humor, racism, shitting on other creators, etc. Gain millions of subs plus huge reputation in creator scene. Mind you, they don't have an issue with like the like anything so far. Repeatedly defend yourself in said content over several years. They have no issue with this so far. Times change. So here's where they start assuming shit. Times change. YouTube suddenly cracks down on edgy content slowly over several months, and much of the content iDubbbz was popular for is now going to the wayside and not as profitable. So now we've got, like, they're making the claim that this was iDubbbz changing his type of content to grift because, like, he's afraid YouTube's gonna ban him if he keeps doing his old content. Suddenly disavow content immediately after dating new chick, Anissa. Insult previous fans. By that, like, when they say insult previous fans, they mean, like, there was a clip of iDubbbz where he talks about how, like, a bunch of his fans were weirdos that would, like, go up to him in public and, like, say, hey, what's up, my N-word F slur? And he'd be like, why would you do this? Why would you think this is a socially acceptable thing to do in public when you meet a YouTuber you watch? Like, he very quickly started to realize he was not having a good impact on his fans, so that's what he means by insulting his previous fans, is talking about stories like that. And became generally insufferable. When they say he became insufferable, they mean he became, like, he became progressive. Cope that everyone blames your GF, the only new visible variable in the entire equation for your newfound behavior. Repeatedly cope over OnlyFans jokes / Anissa jokes, which only makes things worse. Beef with Froggy Fresh and kick him out of your event for collaborating with Sam Hyde. Claim it's not due to the OnlyFans jokes. Sam Hyde's a Nazi. Make a 27-minute video where 90% of the video is you coping about misogyny and Froggy's OnlyFans jokes. Instantaneous backlash and criticism. Public perception of you as a person now at a record low. So really all it is just they're mad that he's developed morals, and he's like, we watched a video from Diesel Patches recently where he just kind of like lets the mask slip as to why they're upset. In Diesel Patches' video about iDubbbz sucking now, quote unquote, he says, RIP to my surrogate father figure, is what he said. He said, RIP to my surrogate internet father figure, is how he finished the video. And he didn't say it with like a hint of irony or like it was a joke in his voice. These guys unironically saw iDubbbz, Filthy Frank, and that like trio of edgelord YouTubers from back in like the 2015, 2016 days as like stand-in father figures. I grew out of like that era of like content, but a lot of these dudes are now in their like early to mid to sometimes even late 20s and early 30s, and they haven't grown out of it, and it's really embarrassing. It's why they see like the return of Leafy as like the return of Jesus Christ himself. It's like, oh my god, the Messiah has returned. Oh my god.
Responsible and misguided. And I think I've hurt a lot of people with
oh my god, the Messiah. Hold on, let me do my Leafy impression. Oh my god, the Messiah has returned. I'm literally coming right now. That's my Leafy impression.
The content I've made. You know, despite many people being entertained by it, you know, I'm not trying to take that away from you. If you feel like you've learned important lessons or you have grown as a person because of the content I've made, I don't want to take that away from you. With some good can come a lot of bad. And I think I've done a lot of bad. And, you know, at the bare minimum, I've just put a lot of negativity out there in the world. And I'm working on...
So this is literally him, like, disavowing and arguing against the old shit that he said. They're literally just... They will find any excuse to take somebody doing, like taking accountability. Like, they need to find a way to make this look like a bad thing, so they're just calling it, like, him betraying his old principles or whatever. Like, whatever they can find, whatever they can call it to make it sound bad. At the end of the day, what he did wrong was choose not to associate with a Nazi. At the end of the day, what he did wrong was grow up.
Not doing that. I plan on expanding on all of this in a further video. I think there's a lot of content from over the years and some behind the scenes that I'd love to share with you guys. I think it would give clarity to where I'm at. But in this video, that's probably about all I can say on any of it. I don't want to detract from what the focus is, and the focus is kicking Froggy Fresh from the Creator Clash card. The main reason Froggy was kicked from the card was for collaborating with Sam Hyde. And, you know, for anyone who's been following the story, that's, you know, fairly obvious. Froggy has explained, you know, his side of the story multiple times. And unfortunately,
I feel like, if anything, like, Froggy Fresh's response to being kicked from the event, like, sort of gives more context as to why, like, iDubbbz would feel that would be justifiable in the first place. I know, like, oh, someone did this past tense for an action can't, like, morally justify that action. But, like, Froggy Fresh going on, like, this big rant, like basically taking the Sam Hyde side of everything, is that not, like, pretty indicative of the shit that Froggy Fresh was engaging in that probably got him kicked out of the event? Like, he just upped it to 11 after getting kicked out, but he was already at, like, a 5 of that stuff before getting kicked out of the event. So I feel like the fact that he then turned all that shit to 11 kind of tells you, oh yeah, I mean, like, this clearly wasn't him memeing or joking or acting in good faith with his like Sam Hyde tier, like Anissa, which is iDubbbz' wife, is like a horror comments or whatever.
Unfortunately, he's been perpetuating a narrative that it's about OnlyFans or that it's about Anissa's mom, and that's extremely deceptive because he knows why he was kicked from the card. The one indication I gave him was Sam Hyde, and I wasn't unclear about that. Anyone who's mentioning the fact that Harley...
People have also... Oh yeah, he's about to acknowledge it, never mind.
...trained with Sam Hyde for the year previous, that was before Sam was saying this about my wife.
I don't think so, Anissa. Bitch. Ho. Fucking Anissa. What an ugly piece of shit. But look how beat she is. Oh, nice jack-o'-lantern teeth. That's like I can't wait to see what she looks like when she's 32. Her teeth look like a pumpkin head. It's the Anissa Joma hole stretcher. I'm sending this to Anissa's OnlyFans. It goes directly into charity. Yeah. Everybody hates him and his wife's a slut.
So yeah, now that this guy is on the daily insulting my wife, I think it's pretty fair to, you know, not want to...
Like, it's literally just people are mad that he will not divorce his wife, start saying the N-word again, and be friends with this neo-Nazi weirdo who's, like, obsessed with his, like, marriage and his, like, personal life. It's the most deranged normalization of stalking I've seen among, like, the normie, like, commentary and drama community I've ever seen. It is bizarre.
Associate with him in any way. We did ban Sam from the first event, so it's not as if he's confused about where he stands in all this. I don't like him. And Froggy knows that. Froggy knows that I don't like him. Of course. That's why he was banned.
The point of Froggy training with Sam Hyde was to bother iDubbbz. Like, let's not pretend it was for any other reason than that. Like, you can say, oh, it was an epic troll all you like, but then you have to admit, like, the reason he did it was to bother iDubbbz. So what's the problem with iDubbbz responding to that by saying, oh, okay, then you're out of the event?
You know, none of this is, like, news to Froggy. Froggy knew all of this going into it. For anyone who's under the impression that Froggy has been, like, reasonable and chill and respectful through this whole process, he hasn't been. He's been a piece of shit. I'm not happy with how he's behaved. He's talked mad shit about me.
Ian doesn't want people who are bigger and more talented than him upstaging him. That's what it is.
Anissa.
Ian's masculinity has been completely removed via Anissa.
Participants of the event.
This is really a lot of weird, tender, soft people.
Oh, by the way, when we were reading the thread made by Optimus, by the way, very popular, like, commentary YouTuber, when he says coping about misogyny, this is what he's referring to. You will not see these people give, like, an honest assessment of the content of this video or iDubbbz response. They will not respond to it honestly. They will pretend like It was like, from what I'd heard of it, you would have assumed it was like 26 straight minutes of iDubbbz like crying with tears in his eyes on camera about how much of a feminist he is and how he hates misogyny and he loves OnlyFans. Like, that is what you would assume this video was based on how people are talking about it on Twitter.
Creator Clash people are real, like, these type of people. You know what I mean?
The event itself.
This is really like the patty cake league for like social media boxing. You know?
He doesn't like the culture of Creator Clash, and he mentioned that.
And Chris Raygun and all these people, it's like some big ethos worshiping party at these things. And I don't get it. I don't get what all this shit is all about. But everybody's there to worship ethos or fucking ethos or like touching ethos, titty or pussy.
To be honest, I thought it was quite the gift to you that we kick you off the card. You have no more obligations, and you can immediately just pivot into boxing for misfits. It's like, that's the culture that you want. You want the non-sissy, you want the macho dude traditional boxing culture, so go over there and box for them. You don't even have to miss that many months of training. You've been training. So hop on one of those cards. But unfortunately, Froggy doesn't want to hop on one of those cards because he thinks the skill level is too high.
Personally, in my opinion, I think the talent at Misfits and Happy Punch is in a different league that is out of my league.
True. Fucking true. Oh, I'm so excited for the Boogie versus Wings fight. I don't think you guys realized how, like, if you're, like, if you're new to the internet, and you're new to the internet if you don't recognize these two, then, like, this is, like, the series finale of like, the longest running fucking arc of internet history you can possibly imagine. Like, that, you guys don't even know how much of a fucking series finale this event is going to be in, like, an entire arc of internet history. It is, if you don't know, you have no fucking idea how big this is, okay? It is out of this world fucking a big deal, okay? I'm so excited. I hope this actually happens. If anyone drops out, it'll be Wings. Boogie will go through with it, I am almost certain. If anyone drops out and like, you know, backs down at the last minute, it'll be Wings. And that's what I worry about. Like, literally every day I frantically check Keemstar's Twitter to make sure, like, he hasn't made the announcement that Wings is backed out. Because oh God, knowing Wings, he'll do it. He'll back the fuck out at the last minute. Like, on the day of, he'll back out.
Footwork is amazing. Out the sand lot and I'm flying on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that calm steady grown.
And then right here is down. You stop. I mean, come on. It turns quickly from boxing to assault.
Just fight someone who's weaker than
True.
you.
So I'm done with boxing. I can fulfill my current obligations. If for some reason Creator Clash changed their mind, I could fulfill my current obligations. I'm not interested in going further into any other boxing.
It's such a fucking cop-out that you're like, all right, I'm such a victim for getting kicked off the Creator Clash event when I knew what would get me kicked off the Creator Clash event, and now you're like, I don't want to box anymore. It's like, come on.
He was playing chicken with iDubbbz, let's be honest. Like, come on. Like, you can admit it was trolling. You can admit it was, like, you can say it was trolling. You can say it was, like, memeing, or you can say it was for good fun or whatever, but, like, I mean, judging off of the shit that he said afterwards, it doesn't look like it was in good fun.
If you look at my text exchange with Froggy, it's very clear that I didn't want to kick him from the card. I got to the point...
Oh, yeah, I went over these, not on stream, but I read over those texts off stream, because I saw them on Twitter, and people shared these around and claim that, like, these screenshots make iDubbbz look bad. I really don't think they do. So the green text on the right here, this is iDubbbz talking. Hey dude, I want to clarify that I'm not mad at you. I just want this event to go well, and part of that is trying to be proactive about things. I just want to find a solution. I really appreciate your friendship, and I don't want to feel like I've upset you. I don't understand what's wrong. Can I not work with Sam Hyde? He's been very nice to me. It's just a tricky situation. I personally have been hurt by a lot of things he's done. If he's your friend, that's like, they see this as, like, weakness, by the way. If you admit that, like, an internet figure who's, like, targeted you and your family, which is what Sam Hyde has done, has hurt you, then you've admitted weakness. They've gotten blood. There's blood in the water. You never want to do this. I will say that him exposing that part was probably not the smartest idea. Because frankly, the best thing you can do to, like, respond to a person like Sam Hyde is to completely ignore him. What I'd say Sam or iDubbbz has done, like, wrong here is, like, really acknowledging Sam Hyde at all. He really shouldn't have made that documentary where he actually, like, went and met Sam Hyde in person. He shouldn't have done that. He should have instead made, like, if anything, a video analyzing Sam Hyde and then left it at that. and then basically never acknowledged him publicly ever again. There really is no other way to beat somebody like that than to do exactly what I just described, because these people thrive on attention. It's why when you get like it's no different than like the Nazi trolls that come to my chat and they just like, they come in with like a no profile picture alt account. They made it like 10 minutes ago and they just start spamming the N-word over and over again. They just copy paste it and spam the chat with like a wall of the N-word as quick and fast as they can as before they get banned. And what they want is for you to give them a reaction. They know they're going to get banned right away. They know they're going to get like kicked out instantly. They want some kind of a reaction. If you say, hey, oh, look at that, like if you just silently ban them, chances are 1 or 2 accounts later, if they even make another alt account to come in with, they won't come back. But if you keep acknowledging them, if the chat keeps acknowledging them, they keep coming back because they keep getting validation for their bullshit. Sam Hyde and his fans are no different. That's the big mistake that iDubbbz made, was ever really one-on-one acknowledging Sam Hyde at all in the first place. He shouldn't have done that. If he's your friend, that's totally understandable. I just don't get along with him, and I'm afraid of having him associated with the event. There are others involved in the event that also aren't comfortable with that. Like, yeah, like iDubbbz does have a responsibility to not allow a Nazi, which is what Sam Hyde is, a Nazi to associate with like a bunch of the other mainstream creators up there. One of the creators that was there was Alana Pierce, who is like literally like worked on God of War Ragnarok. Like there's like people that were boxing at that event that are large figures that are like very much outside of this sphere of the internet that we're like referring to here, and their careers can be jeopardized by associations at this event potentially. It's just, when it comes to being professional as a YouTuber, you have to set standards. And Froggy Fresh knew he was breaking those standards. Yeah, he's my friend. I don't understand what me going to Rhode Island to work with Sam has to do with anyone who is comfortable with him. They don't have to see or work with him. I agree. Privately, what you do is absolutely only your business, but because we are running a public charity event, we have to be careful about these things. Because you do represent the event in some ways. I had similar issues last year. I thought, no problem, Harley. You can work with Sam Hyde, but it ended up attracting a bad crowd, and I got harassed online about it a lot because it was a public display. That's nice of you to give Harley permission to work with Sam Hyde. I didn't know I needed your permission as well. So, like, Froggy's responding, like, very snarkily.
With Froggy.
It's not about permission. He just called and asked if I was cool with it, because he was making content around it. So what are we actually discussing right now? If I work with Sam Hyde, are you going to prevent me from fighting in the event? He actively makes content about wanting my marriage to end, that my wife is evil, and hasn't respected my boundaries. I don't feel comfortable having him associated with the event. I'm wondering if you can understand where I'm coming from on that. I can understand the way you feel. I'm sorry about that, but you also have to understand that he is my friend, so I can't just tell him I can't be friends with him because Ian said so. That's why I'm asking you, if I work with him, are you going to prevent me from fighting in Creator Clash 2? It's not a reflection on you. It's just a very painful and difficult thing for me that I'm dealing with, that I need to keep distance from, and that includes this project. I literally hate this fucking position. I've been put in this position before that iDubbbz is in, where, like, I'm friends with somebody, or, like, I have, like, a professional relationship with someone, and they are, like, friends with and very cool with somebody who is, like, objectively, like, just hates my guts, and has, like, taken actions to, like, what's the word for it? Maliciously lie or, like, harm me in the past, and I'm just, like, expected to be okay with still associating with that person when they're like good buddies with someone who like actively wants to destroy me. And that's essentially the same position that iDubbbz is in here. It's a tough situation.
It's very clear that I didn't want to kick him from the card. I got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't want you working or training with Sam Hyde, but you're doing that, so all right, I'll look past it. I don't want you making content with Sam Hyde, but it seems like that's a real deal breaker for you, so I guess I'll look past it. It came to the point where I was like, can you postpone releasing content with Sam Hyde?
Look, you know me and Sam don't get along. You know, we put a lot of time and energy in this Creator Clash thing. I don't want it to be about Sam Hyde, so just don't let it hurt the event, all right? Go train with him, have fun, but don't let it hurt the event. Don't make it about Sam Hyde. That's what I would have said to you if I was iDubbbz.
Right, and guess what? Like, I'd even plan on releasing none of the Sam Hyde content until after the event.
If you don't know who Sam Hyde is, he's, whether or not you love him or hate him, you have to recognize him as He's the most talented comedian alive. He's the most talented comedian of our
Oh yeah, in case you're wondering, this is Sam Hyde's Twitter @ top tier comedy.
generation. He's gonna probably be the greatest comedian of all time.
Comedian.
He's insane. He's a genius. I got a chance to go out there and train with him. He welcomed me into his environment. He paid people to train me.
I didn't even plan on releasing none of the Sam Hyde content until after the event.
Didn't you tell them that? I thought you told them that.
Ian requested it through text. He requested that I did that. What I didn't like that he requested that, because I don't think that's appropriate. I was like,
He didn't think it was appropriate. I do not think that is appropriate. Do you think it's appropriate that, I don't know, 30-something-year-old man is publicly calling my wife a whore and a slut?
I think initially you can just buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this has got a separate Etsy page where she sells her pussy.
Yoko Ono was too concussive.
Wait, there's no shot that Sam Hyde's in his 30s. Bro's in his 50s, right? He has gray in his fucking beard. And he's gray as fuck. If Sam Hyde is in his 30s, he's going to die in his 50s. How old is Sam Hyde? Hold on. 38. Okay. All right. I will say that is a lot more believable. But I'm also going to say Sam Hyde's not aging too well in regards to the graying and the beard for sure. Whew.
Fighting creator clash for the second year in a row.
Life is so easy for a certain gender.
I legitimately thought Sam Hyde was in his like late 40s to early 50s. Like, I'm not kidding. I actually thought Sam Hyde was in his 50s. I thought he was older than Joe Rogan.
You have to do is say that my uterus hurts. What'd she say this time? Her uterus hurts? Or uterus fell
She
out?
had another concussion.
Probably your uterus fell out from getting blown out so much by toys.
Is that appropriate, Froggy? Do you think that's appropriate?
I don't think that's appropriate.
Okay, you don't think it's appropriate that I set boundaries. I don't think it's appropriate that you are hanging out with a guy who doesn't think women are people. Like, I don't think that's appropriate.
I was like, I don't think you should.
No, iDubbbz, you can't say that it's bad to think women aren't people. No, you're being cucked, you're being woke, iDubbbz. No, iDubbbz, you're being insufferable. No, iDubbbz, no. They're literally mad that iDubbbz is not conservative anymore. I don't even know if he really ever was. I would think he probably was, at least a little bit. But, like, they're mad that iDubbbz is marginally more progressive now. And he's not even, like, progressive. He's, like, doesn't say the N-word all the time progressive. Like, he's, like, a normal person kind of progressive.
You should be telling me when I can't release content. Like, this is my career. It's what I do for a living.
But you complied with it, right?
But I was going to anyways, but I didn't like people telling me that. I thought that was out of line.
I don't know why he's saying that he was planning on waiting to post Sam Hyde content. We have the Twitter timeline of him nonstop posting Sam Hyde content. It's fucking weird. I don't know if he thought it was like a loophole to post on Twitter about Sam Hyde. So I think in his head he was like, I was gonna wait to post Sam Hyde content. Parentheses, YouTube video.
Like, cause like it's not my problem that you have personal beef with the greatest comedian in the world. If I go to Providence,
how am I the simp? How am I the simp? I want to know. Is it because it's
It really is fucking insane that all of these people, like, they call iDubbbz a simp nonstop, but they dick ride Sam Hyde. If you haven't seen, like, the spaces that I'm talking about, they dick ride Sam Hyde. Like, I watch PKA, the Painkiller Already podcast. I love that podcast, but they're pretty chuddy. And they dick ride Sam Hyde like I've never seen before. You've never seen three men talk about another man without being gay in such a way before you've seen how these, like, edgelord guys talk about Sam Hyde. They are fucking gay for him. They want his cock, okay? Like, it is actually fucking crazy. And yet they call him a simp. That is a good point. That is a good point.
It's a woman? It's because it's a woman, isn't it? It's okay to simp for a big, gross dude. It's okay. It's understandable. He's big and he's gross. As soon as you simp for someone who's literally your partner, your life partner, that's too much. That's kind of gay.
if I go to Providence, Rhode Island and get an opportunity to work with him, that should be my option when I release that content.
By the way, and this is the funny part as well, this video is going to get a ton of dislikes. When I drop this video, this segment on YouTube, it's going to get a ton of dislikes and hate comments. You guys know that, right? Like the Froggy Fresh and Sam Hyde and like like even like the normie sphere that like dick rides them, they're going to like come to this video and they're not going to watch very much. I did start this segment with reading the article, hoping that, you know, maybe they start off by hearing the story about you know, Sam Hyde donating to the largest neo-Nazi publication, period. But I don't even know if that's going to do much. So you know what I'll say right now? If you watched all the way to this point in the video or any further, comment and you leave like a negative comment, specifying negative comment. Add, I don't know, what's a funny like code word that you can add to the end of your comment to signify you actually watched this far? My name Jeff. Add my name Jeff at the end to indicate that you actually watched to the end of the video. Or not the end, but like this far in at least.
And it's got nothing to do with you.
I'm just curious how many of the hate comments are going to be people that like literally just come in, drop the hate comment, drop the dislike, and leave. Because that's usually how it goes. I've had like any video where I know I'm going to get a lot of hate comments, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. I always do that as a test to see how many of the hate commenters are living in a like a bubble, right? They aren't even willing to like hear out the thing they're dropping a hate comment on.
Everything that people do with Sam Hyde involves iDubbbz, and I think that he misinterprets that.
We're not talking about people, we're talking about what you do with Sam Hyde, because you're in my event. I wish there were many layers of separation, so I really could be that disconnected. Unfortunately, I have to be around you. You have to fight at my event. I have to share the same space as you know, in the parties, at the event itself, and I don't want to do that. I have no interest in sharing that space with you.
So for him to tell me, hey, could you wait until after the event to release that? In my mind, I'm thinking, I mean, I could, but it's weird for you to tell me to do that because it's got nothing to do with you.
Another thing that contributed to Froggy getting kicked was that he tweeted at Nathan Barnett, aka Dad. He said, "Dude, I tried hyping you up at Denny's when we ate dinner, and they said they weren't fucking with you and that you were going to lose to AB. They don't even like you." This is one of those things where it was like, oh, okay, so you basically don't have any good intentions here. You are just like, you don't like us. Like, I'm not here to play with people and give them warnings. Like, we're all adults on the card. I'm not going to give you a warning. Actually, no, I will give you a warning if I think you have good intentions. The problem is when you tweet shit out like this and you have the text message exchange that Froggy had with me, I don't think you have good intentions. You're like trying to like
like, I think what makes it clear his intentions were never good was his reaction to getting kicked. The fact that he immediately started like making comments about how iDubbbz needs to like divorce his wife and she's a whore, and like all like the basic like Sam Hyde like talking points about iDubbbz. Like, it's very clear the whole time that Froggy Fresh was just kind of like testing the water and trying to play a game of chicken and see if like what would happen. Like, there was no losing scenario for him here.
Ruin a relationship between me and one of my friends. Froggy deleted that tweet, and I don't think he deleted it because he felt differently. I think he deleted it because he knew that it could potentially get him kicked from the event and would also make him look like an asshole. But he basically reiterated that same thing in a Twitter space.
When I was at fucking Denny's, I was all like telling them, yo, Dad's a fucking savage. And they're all like, no, Dad doesn't spar with high-level fucking competition. He's going to lose to AB. And I'm thinking, these motherfuckers are...
So who said that? Who said that?
Ian and Anissa, like, that's the way these motherfuckers are. And then they got Dad like riding for them. They don't even, and if like I wouldn't be like this, but if everybody's gonna keep calling me out like I'm the fucking person that's fucking shit up, like that Dad's out here riding for them, they're all like, they don't even fucking give a fuck about him.
And in the same Twitter space where Froggy says this, Sam Hyde, Froggy's hero, calls Nathan a rapist like several times.
That Nathan Barnett guy, I guarantee you that guy would rape somebody if he had the opportunity.
Yeah, legally he would rape somebody in Minecraft, by the way.
In Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's Nick DiOrio. Yeah, there's a lot of the drama sphere. Just they dick ride Sam Hyde like crazy. Like, you gotta have Nick DiOrio coming out the side to defend. Gotta make sure Sam Hyde doesn't get banned for. The dick riding is fucking insane. They'll literally jump to like defend him.
If he had the chance to rape a woman, he would.
In Minecraft.
No, not in Minecraft, Keem.
I don't want anything to do with Sam. I don't want anything to do.
Like, they'll literally like, they're silent as he's like saying the most awful things he can think of on their platform, and they are like desperate to try to save him and their own platforms because he doesn't even have respect for them. Sam Hyde doesn't respect these people. Like, it's very clear, by the way, that Sam Hyde doesn't have respect for these people if he'll go on their platform and say shit like that to jeopardize it in that way. Because I've seen Sam Hyde go on platforms of people that he respects, like PKA. He's gone on PKA, and he doesn't say shit on PKA that, like, they're not okay with that could jeopardize their platform. He doesn't act like that on PK. He actually acts fairly normal on PK on that podcast. Like, it doesn't really seem like he has much respect for them, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. He's just kind of a douche, unironically.
With people that think what Sam is doing is okay. It is not okay. Here's part of the Twitter space where Harley is sort of questioning Tyler with why he wouldn't respond to Anissa. And I think that's a very valid question, because you ask any of our fighters and it's like, yeah, Anissa was the one who like solves problems. She is more communicative than me, and she's better at communicating than I am. I fucking suck at this shit. So Anissa...
That's why, like, a bunch of these people think that, like, they call Anissa Yoko Ono because she does a lot of, like, front-facing stuff for, like, organizing this stuff. But it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a YouTuber as well, and... yeah, I would absolutely love... I love being able to focus on making content and having other people, like, do that particular part of things. Like, that's... like, that doesn't sound unusual to me or controlling to me at all. That sounds more like the weight of things that iDubbbz doesn't want to do are being lifted off of him. But, like, these people will literally, like, dig into his marriage to try to justify this shit. It's bizarre.
Is the one. She is the one to talk to.
How was I even supposed to know Ian and Anissa were mad when I get one call from Justin Tracy, then a text message, I respond to it immediately, say, could you communicate through text or email? I'm training, and then nothing else. I still don't even know.
What's the last text you sent to Anissa?
It was probably some group message.
Okay, but what was the last text you
sent
sent to Anissa, just you two?
I don't have one direct text from Anissa.
Anissa's never texted you.
With my wife and Anissa, there's a group chat.
Your wife
I do not need direct
so sorry. Okay. Did anyone ever text you and your wife? What was the last thing Anissa sent you and your wife, to you and your wife's phone? What was the last thing?
Tense moments in the Twitter space as Froggy goes to see.
It's, hey, Tyler, I'm not with Ian. I'm home visiting family. Ian called me not feeling great, and I'm just trying to understand what's happening or how I can help.
What's the date?
Sunday, March 12th.
You don't want to respond to that?
No, because you don't know the context of it. You don't have the context. Harley, let me give you the context.
Burn her Twitter account instead of responding to that very serious and sympathetic text that was nowhere near threatening or aggressive.
So basically, Froggy Fresh attacked her on Twitter shortly after Anissa sent that very nice message to Froggy Fresh, and Froggy never responded to it, because this was never about Froggy actually feeling hurt because he made a genuine mistake and he wants to right everything. This is about Froggy having known that this was going to be an issue from the start and trying to play a game of chicken.
Froggy wasn't able to give context for why he didn't respond to Anissa's call and text message in the Twitter space. Harley ended up leaving, the conversation went elsewhere. So he uploaded a Twitter video to explain the context for why he didn't respond to Anissa.
Anissa's last text, which was checking on me. Anissa's concern text of hope everything's going okay was a way for her to try to manipulate the situation, to try to do further investigation into my friendship with Sam Hyde. That was not an "Are you okay?" text. That was a Ian.
To investigate my friendship with Sam Hyde. So basically, there's this conspiracy among these people that actually iDubbbz and Anissa are not ignoring Sam Hyde and trying to avoid him. They're actually, like, obsessed with Sam Hyde secretly, and that, like, behind the scenes they're trying to find dirt on Sam Hyde, and they're lying in wait, waiting to strike Sam Hyde when they can. They literally can't even accept the reality where it's just like, this guy's some weirdo who's obsessed with his marriage and his family, and he doesn't want to associate with them, so he's just, like, not cool with people who are, like, trying to make a whole thing out of being friends with the guy. And yeah, it's literally just conspiracy shit. Like, as Froggy Fresh said, these people think that Sam Hyde is the greatest comedian in the world. Like, literally drenching yourself in as much meta irony as physically possible is what makes you the world's best comedian to these people.
Is not able to break your shell.
Literally, if you can purge yourself of every last drop of sincerity, you will become a god of comedy to this type of person.
Maybe a vague, concerned, manipulative text from me will be able to.
He thinks this text message is manipulation. No, Froggy, we wanted to solve the problem. Let me just say, Anissa is just trying to exist. You know, she doesn't want anything to do with the drama. She doesn't want anything to do with his shit. And I have brought a lot of it into her life. And I take responsibility for that. But unfortunately, a lot of people who think that I've changed or call me a cuck or whatever, they've decided, instead of saying that I've changed and that I'm the decider of my future, it's that Anissa has changed me. So she has been the target of a lot of hate. And I think it's really shitty. And hearing Tyler talk about her in this way is just a reminder where it's like, Anissa's trying to manipulate you? What the fuck was I doing? Was I trying to manipulate you as well? Like, you should probably come out and say that because it seems really fucking sexist and creepy for you to be saying these things.
You know what I feel? I'm gonna be honest with you, and I really didn't.
Yeah, they'll get mad at iDubbbz for saying that he's sexist, but it is sexist to try to argue that, like, some dude just growing as a human being and not being racist anymore needs to, like, dump his wife because she's an evil, manipulative bitch because that's the only, reason for why he could possibly become a better person, and that's a bad thing in your view. Like, yeah, I think it is pretty sexist. I do think that a lot of these people kind of maybe don't like women all that much.
Buy none of this at the beginning until I was living in it. I kept always hearing people saying, like, Anissa ruined iDubbbz, Anissa ruined iDubbbz. And I was always like, nah, whatever, like, they can work out their problems. And I was never buying into that bullshit. But I swear to God, once you live an event, it's like, okay, I think Ian met the wrong person. I honestly think it's just like, I think sometimes you bond with the wrong person, it can take you to make the wrong decisions, maybe. When I met my wife, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I met my wife, I got better the more time I spent with her because she, like, was honestly a better person than me. But I feel like, dude, honestly, it seemed like, so when Ian, as soon as he starts messing with Anissa, it's like, Ian goes from the person who would be dogging people, who would sue people, to then, like, his event that he's running is suing people. It's like a complete flip.
By the way, we weren't suing Froggy. We have no interest in going to court over $15,000. We wanted that $15,000 back, but, you know, he wasn't giving it to us. So we have to leave it at that. You know, we're not suing him.
Froggy, if you're let back on.
Yeah, basically the idea of there being a lawsuit literally started out of nowhere. Like, I remember when all this drama happened and Froggy started tweeting about how he might get sued. And I was like, what? Who's saying you're going to get sued? And so he starts tweeting about how because he wasn't going to give the $15,000 back, Creator Clash / iDubbbz and Anissa might sue him. And so then all the drama, like YouTuber accounts and commentary accounts and all that, start saying that iDubbbz is planning to sue Froggy Fresh, and everybody starts sending support to Froggy Fresh. I hope iDubbbz also gets into Froggy Fresh, like, trying to hold money hostage from charity unless, like, he is allowed back into the event.
On, it's not like you're gonna make another OnlyFans joke about Anissa, right? Like,
Bo Blacks. My boys, they're dick riding. I'm watching my boys get impregnated, dick riding so deep, live, caught in 4K. Dude, I need to DM Nick Diorio and Bo Blacks and ask them when they're having the baby. When's the baby shower?
Back, but, you know, he wasn't giving it to us. So we have to leave it at that. You know, we're not suing him.
Froggy, if you're let back on, it's not like you're gonna make another OnlyFans joke about Anissa, right? Like,
no, I mean, like, if they make me sign a contract that I can't, then I won't.
You know, I find it so strange because it's like, you know,
that was a joke. That was a joke. Obviously, I wouldn't do any more OnlyFans.
I don't think Froggy respects sex workers. I think he has some really old, tired opinions about people who do sex work. I think he has a lot of weird opinions as well.
Oh, it's very clear based on the reaction to iDubbbz being married to somebody who does OnlyFans. And from my understanding, I don't even think she's nude in the pictures she posts on OnlyFans. I don't even think she's doing, like, porn or, like, nudes on OnlyFans. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, if any of you guys are fans on OnlyFans of her, but, like, I'm pretty certain, based on what chatters have told me in the past, essentially, like, her content is no different than, like, lingerie modeling, like, equivalent, in terms of, like, how revealing it is. So, with that in mind, like, it's not even... It's borderline sex work. Like, I would argue that's, like, so borderline, you could defend not even calling that sex work. If you were just posting pictures like that on Instagram, it wouldn't be called sex work. The only reason people would call that sex work is because it's on OnlyFans. Yeah, like, it's even, like, that level of a stretch. Like, that level of a fucking stretch to call it sex work even. And there is that much hate against her. That many people calling her a whore and a slut and saying that because of that, she does not deserve love. That is the core of the argument, by the way, that iDubbbz is less of a man for demeaning himself by being with a whore. That is the perspective these people take. That is what they're saying. Some of them say it loudly. Sam Hyde says it loudly. Some of them say it quietly by supporting Sam Hyde in all of this. But it is what they believe. Implicitly or explicitly.
About masculinity and shit.
Ian's masculinity had been completely removed via Anissa.
A lot of it's not explicitly said, but when you listen to the jokes, it's like, oh, that's actually just your opinion phrased in a comedic way.
There was some type of nerd fight last year, and Chris Raygun and all these people, it's like some big ethos worshiping party at these things, and I don't get it. I don't get what all this shit is all about. But everybody's there to worship ethos or fucking ethos or like touching ethos, titty or pussy. It's always into that, and it's just like, what happens if you get all excited about it? And I think Chris Raygun was like, he probably thought he was going to go there and beat some fucking nerd up and he was going to win. Like, I don't know if they're giving, I think they give away like OnlyFans with girls there at these events. I don't know what kind of sponsorships, but like if you win certain fights, I think you get to own some of these girls for some of the nights.
Awesome.
I don't know how it works, but I think Chris was like, he had plans to go beat up a nerd and however they get to like lease one of these girls. And so like he got there. Well, Ian was probably thinking like, because I think man, I need to.
So this is an example of Schrodinger's douchebag. It's where someone says like something awful or horrible, like very offensive, that's meant to rouse like an offended reaction in general, like normal polite society. But based on the response they get in that social space, they decide whether or not it was a joke or whether it was serious, because maybe they believe that, right? And so they say some horrible shit like this, and if all these guys are like, oh, real, true, yeah, and they go with it, then he can just run with it like it's real. But if they are in disbelief and they're like, really? Like, oh, hold on, what? Let me Google that. Like, if they act in a way that sounds like he's going to have to defend that point, he can just say, I'm just joking. Yeah, it's just a meme. Which is what we've seen him do multiple times in these clips. Schrodinger's douchebag.
You stop all this, probably.
No, Froggy, keep going. I think you should keep going. I think the women of the world need to hear your opinions on these things. Talk more about how sex workers are property. That's a funny joke. It was super funny the third time that you referred to women as property. That was the funniest one. Because when you said lease, I was like, yeah, I know what a lease is. Even if you didn't do any of the Sam Hyde stuff, why would we want you at our event? Like, if you're just going to blatantly disrespect sex workers and women and other fighters, saying that they're here to touch ethos, like, it is so disrespectful and shitty. I don't want to share the space with you.
Yeah, like, it's not only that, but he's making comments about, like, other creators, like Chris Raygun, who I'd say I'm pretty chill with. Like, I don't know if we're, like, tight enough to say friends. I mean, I'd like to say friends, but I don't know if he would. But, like, we're definitely chill. We're definitely acquaintances, we're peers, we're coworkers, we're comrades. Yeah, like, Chris Raygun's a chill guy. And I imagine he wouldn't be very offended by that, to be fair, but, like, it is very disrespectful to try to, like, drum up some, like, conspiracy about another fighter and creator, like, going to the event to try to, like, pick up women, especially if you want to add in some weird some weird, like, conspiracy about leasing OnlyFans girls to the winners of the events or some shit. Like, very bizarre.
I don't want other people to be uncomfortable because you're there. Like, you don't get the vibe, all right? The vibe is sex workers and fighting, I guess. And you don't like the sex workers part. I don't think Froggy is doing Sam Hyde's dirty work.
These people have really, like, managed to twist a guy who's, like, friends with a bunch of OnlyFans girls, like, married to a girl that, like, essentially does, like, lingerie modeling, is, like, a massive YouTuber, very wealthy, and runs boxing, like, charity events. They've managed to, like, try to twist the narrative into this guy being some sort of internet villain. It's so desperate and contrived that, like, anybody who isn't, like, very clearly, like, desperately nostalgic for the leafy era of the internet or blatantly right-wing, like, doesn't buy into. Yeah, she gets paid for being hot, and he's married to her and gets to have sex with her, but somehow that makes him a loser. It's like, how does this logic follow? I'm very, like, it's not very relevant. I guess it is relevant to all this, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It used to be a point of pride for a dude to marry a porn star. Or like a lingerie model or something like that. That used to be a point of fucking pride, dude. It was. It just was. Look at any movie from like the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, TV shows, movies. The idea of a guy getting to date or bang a porn star is like it's in every like dude bro college comedy seen as like achieving nirvana. I don't even know what else to say. Like, how did these people manage to turn something that was so quintessentially unambiguously cool like a decade ago into somehow something cringe and cucked? How'd they do it? They did it all to defend the Nazi. They did it all to defend a fucking Nazi guy. Because he's funny. And I'll admit, Sam Hyde is funny. But yeah.
By, shit-talking Anissa, I think it's just pretty clear that he holds similar opinions to Sam Hyde and similar opinions to Sam Hyde fans, which is like, you're just going to repeat the shit that your hero is saying.
You have to ditch Yoko Ono.
Drop Yoko Ono, bro. It's got to be over. It's got to be over.
And leave the girl. Ditch the girl.
I think Ian met the wrong person. I honestly think it's just like, I think sometimes you bond with the wrong person. It can take you to make the wrong decisions.
She's probably a succubus that's like sucking the life out of him.
Sad to see you didn't make the card again. When will iDubbbz break free from that succubus that is holding him back?
Ian's masculinity had been completely removed via Anissa. Anissa's concern text of hope everything's going okay was a way for her to try to manipulate the situation.
I think initially you can just buy that.
Yeah.
I'm sending this to Anissa's OnlyFans. It goes directly into charity.
Yeah.
Her anal bead package came out, and it was $100 to look at pictures of her with anal beads.
I think they give away like OnlyFans with girls there. Like you get to own some of these girls. You get to select at least one of these girls.
So Ian really embarrassed himself. And so he didn't want Sam at his event because Ian doesn't want people who are bigger and more talented than him upstaging him. That's what it is.
Tyler is like repeating all of these narratives about how I've changed for the worst. The person responsible for my change in a bad way is Anissa. Anissa is a manipulative person. Oh yeah, that I'm like concerned about getting upstaged by Sam or people who are more talented than me.
This is the kind of drama that I feel like in a few years, most of these people are going to look back on this that like took Sam Hyde's side and cringe like fucking crazy. Like, iDubbbz is very much still going to be around and a very large figure in the next few years. Sam Hyde probably won't. He'll probably be very much relegated to some tiny corner of the internet, basically made nearly irrelevant outside of the occasional meme where they make him like a school shooter or whatever. Like, iDubbbz objectively has longer stay power online, I think, than Sam Hyde does. And I think in particular it's because a lot of Sam Hyde fans are either going to grow out of it or they're going to just sort of live lives so fucking miserable that they're probably not going to have much of an effect on culture. Like once you're like a 40-year-old dude who's still a fan of Sam Hyde, how much of an effect are you going to have on internet culture, right? Like, how much is that impact going to be? Yeah, iDubbbz has like cemented himself into like the internet Mount Rushmore as like a legend, and Sam Hyde is like still a pretty niche like internet weirdo that's like some kind of like weird mutated fish that we try to keep below the surface of the internet murk.
Which is insane to me because I've put on this event twice, me as the main fight, and I've lost both times. That's pretty upstaged. As a side note, Sam Hyde has made it a habit to try to sound like a reasonable person by saying, if Ian and Anissa just asked, I'll stop harassing them.
Yeah, if you never hit me up and was like, hey man, can you leave me alone? I'd stop talking about him. Whatever. I don't care that much.
There's no shot that is true. And why does it have to be in private? Like, privately hitting him up and saying, hey, stop talking about me. Wait, what kind of... That also, that's not true. And also, what standard is that for, like, what if you do that, then I'll stop fucking with you? What?
If you ask me to stop, I'll stop.
Which, on its face, is already an insane thing to say. Of course, no one wants to be harassed.
If they let Froggy back on the card, I won't tweet at Ian or Anissa ever again. I'll shut up forever. How about that?
I get to bring back someone on the card who doesn't respect me, my wife, other fighters, and in return, I have the chance of not being harassed by Sam Hyde? Oh man, how can I refuse that? Just so we're on the same page in case I have to make a future video, you heard what Sam Hyde said. If he's a respectable guy, he's not going to continue to harass me because he says, by his own admission, he doesn't care that much.
I don't care that much.
This is my request. I would like you to not harass me or my wife or anyone that we're friends with. Also, harassment encompasses all the little loopholes, all right? You can't just then like refer to me as a goblin and be like, I didn't say his name. I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about a goblin. That's not acceptable. Another thing I want to make clear is that the decision to kick
that is something that Sam Hyde would do.
Froggy from the card isn't just for like me and Anissa's comfort. There are a lot of people who don't want anything to do with Sam Hyde who are fighting on our card. There are a lot of people who are our fans who want nothing to do with Sam Hyde. So
that is true, like, particularly the other fighters. There are some fighters that I saw on the card for Creator Clash 2 that I was like, ooh, yeah, those people don't want anything to do with Sam Hyde or that side of the internet. Like, these people have, like, very much professional careers and do not want anything to do with that. The one that came to mind immediately was, because I have a massive crush on her, was Alana Pierce. Like, she literally works for, like, Sony Santa Monica and is, like, a massive, like, mainstream, maybe not massive, but pretty big, like, mainstream, like, gaming creator who's, like, not into, like, the drama, blood sports sphere or politics sphere of the internet. Like, there's just a lot of creators like that are, like, professional careers, even outside of internet content creation, that don't want to associate with someone like Sam Hyde. And it's not even for political reasons, too. Like, there are things like yeah, Dr. Mike, who's literally a fucking doctor. Like, yeah, there's like a lot of figures there who have like professional careers, and Sam Hyde, like, even outside of the political stuff, there's like the shooting manifesto memes about Sam Hyde and stuff, like things like that. That's not even a political thing. Like, I mean, it is, but not in the same way that the internet considers things political, and even that will have like a potential impact on some of these people's professional careers. It's just, you got to play it safe. People work hard to get where they've gotten.
So we're trying to protect them, we're trying to protect the environment that we're in, and we want it to be comfortable for everyone. I truly believe if we had Froggy participate through the rest of the event, it would have made the event worse, like noticeably worse, because we are all trying to work together to make the show as good as possible, and I think if Froggy doesn't fuck with what we got going on, he was going to make it difficult. One way or another, it was going to be difficult. In closing, I want to say that Creator Clash is probably the single best thing that I've ever done in my life. It has, you know, brought so much joy to me and Anissa. It has brought the most awesome people that I've ever met. It's brought them into my life, and I'm super grateful. And I want to keep doing it, and this event means so much to me, and I'm going to protect it. And I'm going to protect the fighters and the people involved in the event. And, you know, I'm not, when it comes to people wanting to fuck around and mess with the vibes, I'm not going to tolerate it. You know, you're going to get kicked from the card if you're being a piece of shit, and if you're not communicating and if you're not cooperating. And I want nothing to do with Sam Hyde as well. So fuck that guy, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
I paid money, I'm on the floor seat, and I see like some shenanigans going down. I take a photo of it, it's just people holding up a sign. It said Froggy did nothing wrong. Like,
seemingly innocuous.
Yeah, right. I go to this like after event, and Anissa comes up to me. She comes up and says, that tweet was really not cool, and I just apologized. I felt kind of like a bitch. I was like, why the fuck did I apologize?
Masculinity has been completely removed via any.
Got him. Christ, like if you've got a favorite like mainstream content creator, then chances are they've got a shitty take on this entire thing. Like the amount of like, whether they realize it or not, conservative bias that's become apparent from all of this is wild. I would really like to talk to some of the people in the drama sphere about this. Maybe they know something I don't, because every time I watch one of these videos, it's always the most like deranged, like longing for their edgelord pseudo father figure ever. Like, maybe I could get a talk with, who knows, I could bring Nick Diorio on, maybe Turkey Tom. Like, I genuinely want to have, like, a talk about this topic, because I am genuinely curious to hear someone one-on-one defend the, like, reasons for why iDubbbz needs to be friends with Sam Hyde. I genuinely don't know. I just don't know how that would go, but I'm curious.